All right, I'm gonna talk a little bit about changing, changing the mindset to change the trajectory of your life. So, like something that happened to me, I don't know, probably about 3 years ago now. I had just split up with my ex-wife. I was a little bit of a little bit of an alcoholic at the time. Is it related? I don't know. But I went to the doctor after I had moved out and I was living on my own. Went to the doctor, and I was like the heaviest I had been in a while. So I wasn't like feeling very good about that. But I had like a bunch of blood work done. And the doctor comes out and he's going through everything and talking to me and asking how I feel. And the weight wasn't even an issue to him. He thought I was really healthy. Now I'm a big guy, but I was heavy. I didn't like being that heavy. But anyways, so we go through all the blood work and we go through all the information and cholesterol and all that. And he tells me that I could easily live over 100. He called me a centurion. But with the blood work and the cholesterol and like all my metrics, which I don't know any of that stuff. I'm not a doctor. But he said it, according to him, I could easily live to be 100. So I was blown away by that. So at this time I was like 36, I want to say. So here I am at 36, pretty much being like everybody else, not planning on living past, a lot of us nowadays, you hear people say they won't live past 60 because of the lives that they live, which is a whole nother crazy story to even talk about. But so I was in that mindset too, just like everybody else. But when he told me that, I just split up with my wife, just moved into an apartment. I was drinking heavily, just trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing with my life. Then I get told that I'm going to easily live past 100. I'm like, oh crap. Here I am pushing 40, never planning on living that long. So that's one thing that like really flipped what I decided to do with my life. Because once I realized that not only is it possible to live that long, but it's probable. Because that's when I decided to really take my health into consideration. Because if I can easily live to be 100, I don't know if it's genetics or just the way my body is. And we're pretty bad on our bodies. But if I'm remotely healthy, then I'm gonna live to be 100. So now I need to plan for that. Like, holy crap! Like, well, what do I want my life to look like at 100? So when I wake up tomorrow and I'm turning 100, what would I want my life to look like? What would I want to have done? Or, it just kind of like really woke me up. And that's when I really started taking my health seriously. And then I started looking at my career and I started looking at everything that I was doing. And I realized that I don't want to work forever. Like, I don't want to wake up as 100 and have to go to Walmart and be a Walmart greeter, or be going to Home Depot to help somebody find some screws for their drywall. And sometimes, so it was crazy that little encounter and that point in my life, just hearing the possibility, I guess is the point of it, is hearing the possibility. It's possible, because most of us don't think about that. And I sure didn't think about that. But just hearing that it's possible, like, really changed how I was thinking about everything. And yeah, 100 is far away. And I very well plan on being older than that. I plan on being here a lot longer than that, as long as I can be here. Like, if the way I see it now is that if I'm going to be here, if it is possible and I'm going to be here, what kind of life do I want to live? How do I want to go about it? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be if I'm going to be here that long? And that's really what's been my drive these past few years. And it's crazy because I have done so much in these last couple years for me, for my life, in here, out here, around, like, and most people don't notice it or see it because I'm pretty I guess, reclusive, really. I just kind of keep to myself. I just do my own thing. But like, I'm amazed at how much is able to be accomplished in such a short amount of time, just by a simple possibility or probability of future that you didn't even picture that was possible, right? So, like, if I can give advice to anybody, really sit down and think about how just run these scenarios through your mind. Well, what if you live to 120? What if you're not going to pass away at 60? And part of this is like that whole YOLO stuff, because it goes both ways. But like, most people that I know and that what I used to be is like, I'm not going to prepare for retirement. I'm not going to plan for something after I retire, when most people that you see or that you met, and we've all had these stories of somebody who retired and not even a couple months later they died. You just got to think about, what if that's not you? What if you don't what if you don't retire and you don't die? What if you're here 30, 40, 50 years past retirement, What if there's a point when you can't work? This is where like I started really like, holy crap, I need to figure out what I need to do to make sure I'm going to live the life that I want to live. I want to be here past 120, and I want to still be learning. I want to still be hiking. I want to still be, riding a bike. I want to be doing all that stuff as long as I can, and I want this body to be as healthy as I can. Like, so it's just crazy. Like, if you really honestly sit down and just think of the possibilities and then the probabilities and what you need to do that, and like, it's like, I don't know. It's amazing. I'm just blown away. I'm completely amazed. I'm super grateful for everything. And I mean, I'm in the thick of some stuff right now, but it's something that I'm putting myself through so that I will be better off. I'm going to be stronger. Everything that I'm doing right now is to build me up, to make me stronger, to make me better, to get me to that future that I'm trying to get to. So, I don't know. Just look at the possibilities and see what's, believe it. You know what I mean? Believe that anything and everything is possible here. So once you actually start to look at what's possible and then start to look into it and then guide yourself towards it, you'll be amazed at what's possible.